Welcome back to the next video on Industrial Agile. Today not so much talking about principles and theory with some ideas and suggestions around it, but talking about the actual situation. It's early May and there's a lot of talk about the new normal. Things have changed around us, all over the world, and old things don't work anymore. Wall Street Journal this morning has an article that several large companies like Google are shutting offices till the end of the year. Now, if you talk about you, there's a great example. So what do you, as a leader, do with that situation? Well, being an independent consultant, I always have to look at opportunities in a given situation. Yes, I've lost deals because the world is changing and my existing offering just doesn't fit. It's an old normal offered in a new situation, and you'll be in exactly the same spot. So what can you do? Well, first of all, see it as an opportunity. You're not the only one. Actually, every company in your branch is facing the same challenge. The same challenge where old rules don't apply anymore. There are new rules to be discovered. And that's the key thing here. Old rules, a normal situation, what complexity calls it's an obvious, maybe complicated, but it's an obvious situation, and you or your people know what to do, also know when to just stop doing because the rules are failing for some reason, but the rules are there. New means that the rules are not there. Everybody's scrambling, everybody's trying to find ways to do things, and how do I work from home, but I have to be in the lab to run some experiments on that new optical solution, and. So confusion, maybe chaos. Hope not, that's the first thing you want to stop, but definitely a lack of understanding for everybody on how do we get out of this? Your job as a leader is to now create space to find that new normal, to find the new rules. And using the principles of Agile and the thinking behind complexity, the Cynefin thinking, here's some ways that I do it when I'm coaching in a company. Scrum rests on two principles. Teams, all the people who need to work together are there, and empiricism, trial and error. Complexity thinking says that if you're in a situation where you have to discover the new normal, the new rules of engagement, the new boundaries, then throwing a lot of experiments at the situation, measuring the results, is the way forward. Bringing the two together, and there's your job as a leader. Create that space, that safety, where your people, your teams, can come up with ideas. Keep probing them, keep nudging them, keep prodding them, and saying, what else can we try? They are on the work floor. They know what hurts, they know what helps, they have ideas, which may work or not. So ask them for ideas, and then ask them to translate the ideas into an experiment. The experiment might take a couple of hours or a couple of days, or try to limit it to a couple of weeks, and then measure results and see the outcomes. Hey, sounds like Scrum. Bit of scribbles, hope it's readable, but you know the Scrum framework, the plan, do, inspect, adapt. Do that in your complex states where you have to discover the new normal. Be very flexible. Scrum is usually used in that fixed 2-week time box. Maybe you're looking more at the Kanban situation, where some experiments run for half a day and then the results are there and a decision in that inspect and adapt can be made. Other experiments might run for days or a couple of weeks, what I just said a few minutes ago. So is it true Scrum? What is true Scrum? That's a whole different video for later on. But run that plan, do, inspect, adapt cycle still with your teams, with the people who work on that new optical solution or that new piece of software. Because the teams in Scrum, using the iterations to discover, and everybody in that team is an important participant. It's not just engineers, well, or make everybody an engineer. Whether it's an optical engineer or a manufacturing engineer or a sales engineer, all together have to define how to work in that new normal state. What is ideal, what is productive for them. You set direction, you give guidance. What Google did by saying, listen folks, we're not going to be in offices for the next half year. Well, that's very vague guidance. And it sets the direction of where the solutions have to be found. No more planning to come back, but with increased cleanliness or cubicles further apart. No, solution has to come out of working remote. You as a leader set those directions. And again, use that as an opportunity. Maybe you have ideas that might benefit you if you think about it in terms of competition. Maybe you want to get rid of some old ways of doing things where you go like, yeah, that's always been a bit of a bottleneck or a pain in the you-know-what. Set that direction and then let your people do what they can do. So you also create safety. You create opportunity. You encourage. Best ideas still come out of mistakes. The famous story about Post-it notes coming out of a wrong glue definition, glue production, and hey darn, the glue didn't stick, but it stuck long enough to stay on the wall for a while. Use all of those kind of arguments to encourage your people to experiment. Take time for it, because there's one thing that is not possible, using obvious rules to say do this and you will have a new normal. That's just not working. That's what complexity theory, complexity research shows us. So don't fall in that gap. Don't make that mistake. Yes, opportunity. Yes, leadership. Yes, setting direction. And then let it happen, steer it, and there's your way to the new normal. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again.